Welcome, everyone, to the Go Bigger podcast. Today, I'm sitting down with my dear friend, and we're going to be talking about content creation for entrepreneurs and businesses. But I'm also going to be delving deep into her personal story, how she's come to be this mega creator that I know now, and a lot more that is going to unravel over the course of the episode. So, join me in welcoming Femi. Femi, welcome to the show. All right. So I've always known you to be a content creator, but I know you're a doctor.
Mm.
So tell me, how did you go from doctor to creator? It's quite weird. So share.
Doctor to creator. To be honest, when I finished medical school, I had no idea I was going to go this path. Somehow, I found myself here. How? It started with writing in 2015. So my husband had a news platform, and he was recruiting people to write for the news platform. And then they wanted to have different sections, including entertainment. And he's like, oh, really? So yes, why not? He now said, okay, you know what? Instead of just writing stories, why not include medical lessons in the stories? So it was really his idea to do that strategy. And that was how I started with it in 2015. And since then, that's what I've been known for. And everybody's always like, wow, this is so brilliant. This is so that. And I still reminded my husband 3 weeks ago that, do you remember that this whole thing was your idea, right? So that was how I started. And then along the line, maybe I think, okay, when I had my first child in 2017, I took a break from writing, right? I was focusing more on motherhood. Then I had my second child in 2019. And so in 2022, I came back in the game. And now when I said in 2015, there were not too many people doing it. So I wish I had just continued. But I took a break, and by the time I came back, so many other people had come, and then video, social media was now the thing, because then I was writing on news platforms, and BBM was the in thing at the time. So that's what we were using. But coming back, then I started an Instagram page, I started YouTube, and which other platform? So yeah, I think it was Instagram and YouTube. I had opened Facebook back then in 2015 when I started. So then I started doing videos to educate people, because then it was obvious that writing alone will not cut it. If you want to educate people, you also have to get on the video train. And that was how I literally found myself. Again, that video part, it was my husband that was like, okay, why don't you start videos? Why don't you do Instagram? I was like, this doesn't sound like a bad idea. And I started, and I just found myself. And that's how I'm here today.
Did you naturally like making videos, or is this something he had to talk you into?
He didn't have to talk me into it, but I can't say I naturally liked it. Like, I love writing naturally. My first book ever, I wrote it in primary 4. The ghosts and the somebody and the 3 ghosts. Primary 4. I wrote the book, I designed the cover, everything in primary 4. So naturally, I love writing. But video, I can't say I naturally like it, but I don't dislike it. So I didn't need any extra, yeah. But any day, anytime you can wake me up, I'll write. To do video, I always tell you, I feel like I have to do extra prep, and I'm not perfect when you give me lines. If I can talk like off the top of my head, I'm good. But when I have to, you script something and I have to follow a script, oh my God, you will sleep there to shoot me. So yeah.
That's so interesting. So now, because I've known you as someone who creates more videos, I know we read your stories and we like your stories, but when it comes to making videos, what would you say is the hardest part of it?
Making videos is coming up with the ideas. So the conceptualization of the video itself. Shooting is easy, dressing up is easy. But you see that coming up with ideas to pass your message, it's the hardest thing ever, because sometimes you run out of ideas. Sometimes you just have this block in your head. Nothing is coming. Sometimes even when you use tools like AI to help you come up with topics, it's just not hitting it.
It's not. I think I can actually relate to that, because like I've been filming the 100-day challenge, and there are some days I just sit down with the camera and I'm like, okay, what shall I say today? And I ask ChatGPT, and he'll say, oh, why not talk about this? And in my mind, I'm like, that doesn't sound like me at all.
Oh yeah.
So what is one tip you'll give people, like when it comes to making videos? How do you make it work for you? Because you are prolific.
So when it comes to making videos, I'll say first things first is know your audience, because I cannot be making videos for 60 plus and I'm talking in a certain kind of way. At the same time, I cannot make it for Gen Zs and I'm talking in a certain kind of way. So I have to know who my audience is, or at least if I don't have an audience yet, who my target audience is. Then I have an idea of, okay, the type of videos to make, because I have to make videos that will resonate with my audience, because I have to speak their language to be able to get to them. So that's one.
Let me ask you this question. So everybody knows that as a medical doctor, you probably will
Mhm.
be earning hundreds of thousands
Mhm.
if you were practicing
In Canada.
in Canada.
Mhm.
Does that ever make you feel like going back to practice?
Mhm. So many people ask me this question. Especially people be like, okay, so what's next? Are you going to go into specialization? Are you going to do this, that? And in my head, I'm rolling my eyes because I don't want to be rude. But like I said, I left that part a long time ago. Right? It's like how when you just have this light bulb moment and it's like, before how it was for me when I went to medical school, when I finished, it was like, okay, everybody's going to medical school, everybody's doing residency, everybody's working in the hospital. That's all we knew. But thank God we're now in the 21st century. There's so many different things you can do.
Yeah.
And there was that light bulb moment for me where I can be a doctor, I still do what I like, I still follow my passion. So I'm studying medicine, maybe not necessarily to be in the hospital to treat patients, but to prevent people from going to that hospital to get treated. So I'm more of the preventive side of things when it comes to medicine. I'm doing health awareness so that you know the things not to do to end up in the hospital. You know to go for your cancer screening. You know not to drink dirty water. You know not to have unprotected intercourse. For people that are looking for children, basic things that they may not have time to tell you in the consulting room. I'm teaching you that online, right? And I also have one-on-one consultations that I do, paid consultations, right? For people that want to discuss their medical issues with me, maybe get a doctor's opinion on it, get prescriptions, all those kind of things, right? So there's so much more. I think the world is at a place where medicine is much broader than just the four walls of the hospital now. We have a lot of doctors that are even consultants that are on social media. In fact, in the US, if you're a doctor, you don't have a social media page. Are you even a doctor? And right now, Nigeria is becoming like that, right? Where you are a doctor, but if you want to have that authority in medicine, if you want your patients to respect you more, be on social media. So that's where we are.
Quite an interesting take. Okay. You brought up something that I thought we are going to get to later in the conversation, and that's the money side of things. And you said, oh, you know, you could be any more in a hospital, but people pay you online for consultations. So I'm now interested in, okay, since you've been creating content to make people aware of medical things, how lucrative is that part of?
It depends. It depends on the platform. I'll be honest with you. Most of the income I get from that comes from working with brands. Because of the kind of audience I have, when it comes to Nigerians, and maybe it's because I don't really push it much, paid consultations, I find that they rather get free consultation than pay for it, right? Or the Kome, Kome is my coach. So she has
That's the best.
she has
Okay.
been telling me, push, push, push. You need to position out. In fact, you shouldn't give out your knowledge for free, blah, 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 blah. She says all these things, right? And I'm trying to adjust to, because sometimes people will reach you and say, I'm not able to pay for the consultation online, blah, blah, but please, I need advice on this, I need advice on that. So again, there are some things you cannot advise totally online. It requires a consultation. So I can give you basic surface level knowledge or information on it, and I'll tell you, you know what, you need to see a doctor. And I might tell you, okay, when you see a doctor, just make sure they do so and so tests for you and whatever, right? But I would never prescribe a drug without consulting, without you consulting with me, or without having a conversation with you rather, or anything like that, prescribe tests, all those kind of things. We can only advise that, okay, go see your doctor. When you see your doctor, just make sure that if they don't request this test for you, make sure that you ask about it, that, oh, can I do this test? I heard about this and all that. Sometimes people even bring their results, their medical results. they give them in the hospital and they come around invite me that, oh, doctor, what do you think about this? And I can tell them what the result means. But what I avoid prescribing any drugs online because I don't know your medical history. I don't know your drug allergies. I don't know anything about you. So it would not be ethical to do any prescription without a consultation.
It makes sense. So brands actually pay you to promote medical stuff.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example? Like, as much as you can tell us.
Brands will just like every social media personality, brands will come and meet you based on what your niche is. So my niche is obviously health, right? Even though I'm trying to diversify a bit, I'm trying to do a bit more lifestyle to sort of increase the type of brands that could come to me. So right now, the kind of people that come to me are health brands, people that are maybe selling drugs, people that are maybe selling treatments, people that are selling maybe they have like a cancer program, screening program, something going on. Come to meet me, or because right now I'm niching down to sexual health and fertility. So we're having more people that are into maybe contraceptive products to come and meet you and speak with you about it and things like that. So those are the kind of people that I'm attracting right now. You know, based on the kind of content you put out, there's a certain type of brand you attract. And those are the brands I'm attracting right now. So I want to include more, a little bit more of lifestyle, a bit of motherhood, and maybe travel, so I can have some more exciting brands reaching out.
Activities. In fact, let me take you back in time. Do you remember your first brand deal? How did it happen?
So the way it happens for me, brands reach out on Instagram. Some of them reach out via mail because my email is on my Instagram. Instagram is like where I have the largest following. So most of the requests I've seen were from Instagram. They just reach out to my inbox. Oh, please, can we have your rate card? Sometimes they say, oh, so and so. They might give you a little brief of what the project is all about. And is this something you'll be willing to take on? Are you interested? And if you say yes, some of them make you sign an NDA before giving you the full details and all that. So just all the people that reach out to me is either email or inbox on Instagram. If you're a content creator, be checking your requests.
Now you've mentioned rate cards. Please, what is that?
Okay, so rate card as a content creator, or someone that wants to get paid or get brand deals, you should have a rate card for the services you offer. So that can be like, okay, for posts, how much do you charge for one post? For if it's carousel, how much do you charge for carousel? If it's video, how much do you charge for video? If it's Instagram live, how much do you charge and for how long are you charging it? For Instagram stories as well, putting things in your stories, how much do you charge for that? So there should be like a base price and you can compare it because what you charge will depend on a lot of things, right? The brands will consider a lot of things. One of them is your following. The larger your following, the larger the higher you are likely to charge, or the higher, if you charge higher, if you have a larger following and you charge higher, they won't frown on you. But if you have a smaller following and you're charging higher, it's going to be like, why are you charging us high kind of thing. But even more importantly than the following is your engagement. Prior to this time, following used to matter on social media, but right now, what matters more is engagement. So they want to see how many people are watching your videos, how many people are engaging with your content, how many people are liking it, how many people are commenting, how many people are sharing. Even if they're not maybe liking or commenting, if they're sharing, it means they're going to get more people to see their advert or whatever they post on your page. So those are some of the things that they consider. So you yourself, you gauge your page, right? Another thing you can do, because people don't willingly just paste their rate card on their pages, you can do some mystery shopping. Go to creators in your niche. Pretend to be a brand and ask them for your rate card and copy. Yes, you know whether you're overpriced, underpriced, or you're just right. So, but you need to have a rate card.
Isn't it suspicious if you go to someone who is a competitor, so to say?
And you do that.
So you have to use someone. So isn't that a bit dodgy?
It's not dodgy. You need to know your or you set someone else to do it. Tell a friend, please, let me ask best for their rate card. Say that you are a brand representative.
This is getting juicy. Have you done that before?
Done it once when I just started. Because my husband kept telling me, yeah, underpriced, yeah, giveaway. I'm like, no, but this one is a lot. I cannot tell him to collect this much. He said, by the time I asked, as well as my colleagues were asking for, like, truly, I'm underpriced. You so so I increased my price too. So without that, I would have felt like, this is too much. Maybe because it's for me making the video it's not that much effort. So I feel like, why am I charging so much for something that literally takes me maybe 10 minutes to do? Yeah, so yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, so you mentioned engagement. And full disclosure here, I am always asking Femi, what should I do with my content? Femi, it's not working. Femi, how do I make it better? So I suppose my main question is, because you've been creating content for a long time, like if someone is getting started and they're looking at you, what would your advice be like? How do you create engaging content?
Like I said, it starts with knowing who your audience is. The way to create engaging content is know what will make your audience engage. Like now, my audience is mainly Nigerians, Gen Zs, and millennials. I have a lot of older people following me as well, but I have more Gen Zs and millennials. And of course, Nigerians. I have people from other parts of the world as well, but it's mainly Nigerians following me. So, and I know even from other parts of the world, like I have people in UK, more recently now, a lot of Canada and even US. But I know that it's the Africans there that are following me, not the Oimbo people. So even like I said, from other people, they are African. So I know that okay, my audience is mainly African. If you're not Nigerian, you're sure African following me, and you're of this age range. So what can resonate with me? Luckily, my audience is within my age range. So sometimes I use myself, okay, if I saw this on Instagram, would I stop scrolling? Would I engage? Would I laugh? Would it spark any emotions in me? Right? Those are some of the things that you can use to know whether your content is going to be engaging or not. Sometimes before I post a video, I already know this video is not going to do well, but I post it anyway because I don't have anything else to post. Sometimes before I post, I know that this video is definitely going to go viral. And it does go viral. And sometimes I'll be like, I'm not really sure what will happen. Let's see how it goes, right? But a lot of times you kind of know when it's going to do well. All things being equal, let's say Instagram platform is not being shady on that day. There are some things that you know. One thing that moves that will always spark engagement is controversy. It's just that sometimes being controversial to what extent? So I can tell you for free, if you are controversial on the internet, you will never lack engagement. You know, when being controversial, now those of us that we have self-respect, you do it with sense, right? Don't go and say something controversial that does not make sense or that is a lie. Especially for me, that I'm a doctor. I can't say what is false or I can't bring out anything misleading, right? Because that's not even ethical. So you have to be careful when you're doing controversy, right? In my niche. But you see all these gossip platforms, entertainments, they can afford to be controversial and do anyhow and hey. But even something like your niche, you cannot say something controversial that is now misleading.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So there are some niches that you cannot get away with nonsense. So if you want to use controversy, you have to use it very carefully. But I can guarantee that controversy never fails. If you do it 10 times, you will get engagement 10 times. That's one. Another thing that gets engagement is content that is new or novel. When they've never seen it before, they've never heard about it before. It's like they're hearing about it from me for the first time. You will always get engagement on those kind of content. Another thing is, if you do something that is unusual in your videos, let's say you start a video and maybe you see one red crown on my head from nowhere, you stop and be worried that what's wrong with this person? So that one will keep you watching for a bit and you might, want to engage and all that. So you have different strategies for making people engage. But the thing is, with social media, there's so much competition out there that you have to keep being creative with your strategies or whatever it is that you choose to come up with.
I love what you say that, be creative, be consistent. I think when it comes to like my business niche now, when I'm creating content, I feel like there's certain things that I don't want to do, not because I'm not interested in engagement, but because of respectability. Like if you're trying to build a trustworthy business brand, there are just certain things that I feel like you don't want to do. Not because it won't attract people, because when those people get there, you've already lowered the bar for yourself. So recently I saw this guy, he's not a business guy, he's a comedian or something. And the way he dresses, I'm not going to call names, the way he dresses and everything. And I thought, this is it's engaging, it's interesting to watch. But I wouldn't do that.
Don't take it seriously.
People won't take you seriously.
Your target audience
take me seriously. Imagine me asking people to come and pay me 25,000 for an offer and they see me doing that. It's just like, no, No, nobody's going to be. So for people who are in my kind of niche, what would you say to them?
People in your kind of niche is a bit harder because the truth is most people that come to social media, depending on the kind of platform, short form platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, they're not coming for education. Education is a byproduct of their presence on social media. What they are really coming for is entertainment, right? So people like us that we educate, it's a bit harder for us to reach people. So you find that sometimes we have to now be a little bit entertainment. So edutainment, where you have a little bit mix of entertaining stuff and educating stuff, right? That's why you now have to come up with, okay, what is my hook going to be like? Your hook is the entertainment part or the part that sparks a question or piques their interest, that part has to be interesting. You cannot just go stress and say, okay, the 5 different types of business model is this we're talking about. But if you start with something engaging, like, did you know that if you sell your house today, you can get like 20 million naira? People will stop. Or did you know that if your shoe can give you 20 million naira in 3 days? Some people will now use that kind of beginning and they will now turn it around. So what I meant is if you work, but at the end of the day, you pass your message.
Fair
and the
enough.
people that really need to hear that message are going to hear it. Do you get? So for us, we have to be a little bit more creative because, like you said, we cannot dress and look like clowns.
You can't dance.
You can't dance
unless you're a dancing brand. I mean, there's one doctor that dances on Instagram. He's called Doctor. Like he's always dancing, but he actually educates people about immigration, moving abroad.
Doctor.
Waka waka doctor. Like
His niche is
actually a
different.
doctor.
It's travel. Yeah, he's a doctor, but he's
So he
different.
does a lot of dancing, and he actually knows how to dance.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to dance in my life. So even if I wanted to be the dancing coach, I cannot. Right. But my point is, now I've sort of lost the train. But what I was trying to say is some people are able to make those things work. But because his niche is slightly different, he's getting away with it. In my own niche, I feel like also maybe it's a bit of fearfulness that I'm like, I want to build a reputable brand. I want to build a very respectable, influential brand. I don't want to be dancing.
Can really?
Especially that I don't know how to dance. It will now come up to be. But I think, let me ask you this. If I came to you now and I said, tell me one thing that you want me to go and do. And this is for entrepreneurs. You know, a lot of entrepreneurs, we have the same issue. We're all selling stuff on the internet. You're not selling anything. You're only teaching. So if I wanted to ask you one thing that an entrepreneur should do to sell their stuff, what would that look like?
That will look like what you have been advising me to do, which is number 1, start a community. With a community, you can never go wrong. Your community will always be there for you. Your community will be the first people to buy for you, first people to advertise for you by word of mouth. I think that's the easiest way to sell your stuff. If you come up and half of your posts are all salesy ads, people are not going to follow you. People are not they're not going to want to engage, right? But if you first of all build a community, get to know your followers, let them get to know you, let them benefit a few things from you for free. Eventually, when you bring out something to sell, they are going to buy from you. They're going to be your number 1 people. I've not built a community the way Kome is saying I should build it yet. Like, I don't have it on paper. But I know certain people I know certain followers by their hand self. If trolls come to my page and say nonsense, I will not respond. It is other people that respond for me. Those are your people. They will always be there for you. They will always fight for you. They will always be on your side. If tomorrow you say, go and do this, oh, I have this group, please join. They will come and join. I have this mailing list, sign up. They will sign up because they feel like they know you. They can relate with you. So the moment you now tell them, oh, I have this, please buy. If they can afford it, they will buy. If they cannot afford it, they might tell other people about it or share your post or whatever, right? So I think I agree with you that community is very essential. In fact, it's what's going to stand you apart from other creators, other business people that don't have a community.
Do you know what? I like what you said, but also I'm thinking of the many people who are selling stuff like I sell skincare. Like, how am I going to create a community out of skincare? So do you know why yours is easier? I feel like because you have been educating people for a long time, and those people actually need, like, they need urgent help. So imagine someone who is trying to get pregnant and they've been going to the doctor is not responsive. And even in North America, doctors don't have your time. They have an allocated amount of minutes they can spend with you. And after that, it's pretty much get out, come back next time. Right. So those group of people, they need a dedicated space. Right. I'm the business coach here, but when it comes to content, I doff my hat to this lady. So for someone who, like, I sell wigs or I sell skincare, how were you able to create that community, and how would you advise them to do it?
So, community will not happen overnight. You first of all start by putting videos out there, becoming an authority in that space. Even if you're going to spend your first 1 month or first 2 months doing that, creating videos. If you sell wig, you're going to be showing a different type of hair. Oh, how to identify when a wig is fake, how to take care of Brazilian hair, how to call your boho braids, different tips like that you're giving people. They know that, okay, this person knows about hair. So when you say you're selling hair, they know that for you to sell hair, it means that you must be selling original. Why? Because you can identify which one is original, which one is fake. So it gives you some kind of credibility. Right? So then you can easily sell your products, right? For a wig seller, you might not necessarily need a community to sell your products. Wig is an everyday commodity that women want, right? They just need to see that you have some credibility, you know what you're doing, and they can trust you to buy from you. Right? Remember, you're selling online, it means they won't be seeing the product before they get it. So when they feel like there's some kind of trust, then they are able to buy from you, right? And for that kind of business, I'll say, is it testimonials or whatever they call it?
Yeah.
Well, I could have actually bought or used your product. I would say, oh, I use this person's product and it works for me. So I think it's UGC, they call it user-generated content, where people are recording videos of products they've used, and the people that own the products are putting it out there that, hey, this person used my product, this is what they had to say about it, and all that. I think that will really help with sales without you having to build a community.
There's something you've been doing recently. You've been doing a lot of storytelling. And I agree with the way you said people should build the community and the way you've told this wig maker, for example, to build a community. But there's something you've been doing that has really blown up your page. I think I'm one of your most active followers at this point, and I'm coming for the gist. It's the way you've been writing a lot of stories on your page. Can you talk about that? Why are you writing more stories? What effect has it had? And is it something you encourage other people to do?
Okay, so, like I said at the beginning, story writing is something I love naturally. You can wake me up and I'll write. I will do it with joy. So some other people might not like to write. So if you don't like to write, don't force yourself to write. So I've always been writing. The reason why it seems I'm doing it more now, even though I was always doing it every week. But last year there was a shift in the algorithm where carousels were being favored more than videos. So it was an easy way to grow your page. So I just keyed into it. And finally, they reached my site. I went into videos to reach more people. But now that they're making carousels reach more people, then good thing is you can. So if you're wondering how to write with carousels, I just use Twitter, write on Twitter, take the snapshots and bring it to Instagram, right? You can try to use Canva to do your own writing and then download it and bring it to Instagram. But long and short is carousel is winning right now. Anything can change tomorrow. So I was just really keen into the moment to build the page. So writing has always been there, but I think I doubled down on it when I realized that it was working for building the page.
You grew a large amount of people in a short time.
Yeah.
I want you to give us specifics. Because
So,
I want someone out there to know that it's possible. I mean, I've been trying to build my page for 7 years and it does not work the way I want it to work. But then she knows how to do it.
yeah. So as at the time that I noticed carousels were working, I think the page was around 105K and now it's on 131,000. So that's about how many followers? 26?
Don't ask me.
20 something thousand.
Mental maths.
And this happened within, I think between October to December. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That is about
So,
26,000 people in
yes.
3 months.
Yes.
Wicked. That is so crazy. As in, I'm looking at you, I wish I could harvest your brain. Guys, is that weird? Okay. So stories have been working, carousels have been working. Is it still working or has
It's working now. It's still working now. Although I feel like I'm still trying to observe their algorithm, see if they've introduced something else, but it's still working now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I noticed that you were actually writing fictional stories. Is that because it lands better?
Yes. First of all, I don't have enough true life stories to go around. Seeing as I write one story every week. So yeah, I write more fiction, but a lot of my fiction is a reflection of what actually happens around me in real life, or maybe something I watch or a story I read on Instagram, Insta blog. Maybe this person did something, this one. I'm like, what if something happened, right? Like I said, know your audience. My audience, they like gist. Me myself, I like gist. So
I like
so I already know that when you come up with a story and it's in a gist format, people are going to stop because they want to know what happened next, what happened next, what happened next. So I use the gist to catch them, and I use the suspense to keep them. That's what I've been doing with the stories.
Interesting.
So I think over time, I have mastered the art of that suspense. That is what actually helps me grow deep. Because people are like, I want to know what happened next. I want to go to effect tomorrow. I will post it tomorrow. So they will either turn on notifications, save your post, or follow you so they don't miss the parts.
It is actually so interesting. Like people come for the stories and stay because there's suspense. So let's take an example of an actual story you've written. How many parts do you write to post? How many parts?
So before, when I just started posting on Instagram, I would write a whole book. Fun fact, I don't have the book written before I post on Instagram. I'm writing a real time. As I'm posting on Instagram, as I'm writing chapter 1, I'm posting on Instagram. That's the book being formed. So I don't know. Let me do like, you know how they say God knows the end from the beginning? Me, I don't know the end from the beginning. We are going on the journey together, but a lot of the people that read the story don't know. So I was asking me for part 2. Part 2 has not been created. Though. Part 2 is still somewhere in my head being created. Do you get? So when I first started writing, I would write a whole book and post 3 chapters a day over a period of not 3 chapters a day, 3 chapters a week over a period of usually 2.5 months or 3 months. So then Instagram was favoring your followers in your content. So my people will follow me that whole 2.5 months. We are all going on the journey together. Every time I post, they are coming to see it. So that was working. But then when it got to the part of where Instagram was favoring non-followers seeing your content, I had to change strategy because people that were following the story are not even seeing the content because they are showing it to non-followers. And somebody that just stumbled on seeing chapter 23, they are not going to go and look for chapter 1. So I had to come up with shorter stories. So I only post 2 parts every day. Part 1 today, part 2 tomorrow. So even if you come across part 2 tomorrow as your first post,
It's easy to go.
but if you came across chapter 23, even me, I will not go back. Do you get? Like, even me as a person, I came across chapter 23. I'm not going to go look for chapter 1. But it's easier for me to, let me go look for chapter 2. I mean, chapter 1 and see where I missed if I'm just into. I don't make it more than 3 parts because then it will be difficult for them to find if they just stumbled on it. No, 3 parts is the max. Story is too long for me to fit into 2, then I extend to 3, but I never do beyond 3 now.
Have you started creating the full story now, or are you still creating
No,
parts?
no, because of the way is, sometimes it's so sad that we have to follow the algorithm to create content. I would love to write full books like I've been doing, but because that's not being favored on the algorithm, so I only do short stories, 2-part stories, max 3-part stories, and that's it. Even that 2-part story, I post part 2 and 3 on the same day. Because if I'm going to post part 3 the next day again, some people will trail off. So I just post part 2 and 3. If it must extend to part 3, 2 and 3 come on the same day.
So every week you write a new story. You post part 1. What's the gap between when you post part 1?
Part 2 is the next day.
Oh, the very next day.
Yes.
So, and people still follow you regardless.
You will get followers from that part 1 before part 2 comes out. Oh, within that 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then there are the people that, because they enjoy the story so much and they see that you are doing this every week, they want to follow you so that they will see subsequent stories.
Enjoy what you are doing, because I've been reading your stories. I've been reading your stories for like 2 years now, and they're all interesting. I think for me, it's such a new way of creating content. I haven't seen many pages doing it. And I'm intrigued about whether other entrepreneurs can use the same tactics to
100%.
gain followers.
100%.
Do you
And
think it will take away from their expertise? So, for
no.
example, I create very business content.
No.
Will that
Take away
make
from
you
your
look
expertise.
unserious?
No. In fact, people are always in awe at the fact that I'm a doctor and I can write. They're like, wow, you're a doctor, you can write. Wow, this is so brilliant. You're so good. You're so this, you're so that. Because they can't believe that. You know, doctors are usually seen as these rigid people
Yeah.
who wear stethoscope and lab coat and that's it. But you can think outside the box and write and still communicate. Because I don't just write stories like I said earlier. I put medical lessons inside it. So I grab you, teach you the medical lesson, then keep you suspects for the story for the next day. So that's the whole idea. So they're always like, this is. So I feel like rather than people taking away from you, it rather adds to it like, this person is so brilliant. Like the fact that you could even come up with that strategy to drag them, they will be like, oh, please teach us more strategies and all that, right? So I think it will rather add, it will take away. And luckily for you, you also have the gift of writing. You know, I said earlier that if you don't like writing, don't bother.
Try it.
Don't try
this at home.
frustrated. But someone like you that you already have that gift, please use it.
I see your point. I see your point. Okay. I want to land this plane. You've taught a lot of things, the key one being storytelling to grab your audience. If I asked you to advise someone who is starting off today, we're not talking engagement or anything, what would you tell that person?
I personally feel like I said late, especially now. You know, I told you I said since 2015. So that's not late, but I took a break. You see, that break should never have happened. And then I came back in 2022 and the game had changed. And I feel like 2022 was late for me. Because most people that blew in 2020 during COVID.
Yeah.
So people that are starting now, I'm not going to lie, it's even harder to start now. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't start because there are people that have said now and still made success. All I'll tell you is don't expect overnight success.
Yeah.
Be patient. This is a journey. It's a journey. It takes time. You're learning along the way. You're changing things along the way. But you have to be resilient. You have to be ready to. It has to be something you like doing. If not, you're going to get tired. So you have to be ready to go the whole. Even for those of us that love you, sometimes you're like, I'm tired. I'm not doing it again. Let me take a break. Let me rest. I've seen so many of my colleagues that you won't see them posting for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. I already know what's wrong with them. Me too. I've taken like 2 months because I'm like, well, this is not working. Leave me alone. Don't stress me. Right. So it can be like that way. It can be tiring. It can be frustrating. It can be like your work is not being seen. But you just have to remember the why. I think it's Kome that used to say that. Just remember the why. And I think that's going to keep you going. Right. And be ready to be patient. It's a process. But at the end of the day, it will be rewarding.
And there was something you said that I want to end on. You said, if you like, stop now. Remembering that every time I feel frustrated or discouraged with content creation, because it's not my natural gift, it's something I'm doing because I have a business. And so every time I remember that, it actually makes me laugh. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this conversation. I hope it has been enlightening. And if it has, be sure to hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
It's a wrap.
Your handle in the description. I forgot to ask.